I think we saw him
You
last
lied.
week. We saw him last week.
After
No, I was me. Yeah.
I told the guy he's
Mm,
lied.
mm, mm. Oh, the blood of Jesus. Oh, the blood of Jesus. Oh, the blood of Jesus. And it must not suffer. We are saved by the blood of Jesus. Now we are saved
By the blood
of
of Jesus.
oh, we are saved by
By the
the
blood
blood
of
of Jesus, and it must not suffer, suffer loss, and it must not do it again. Oh, oh, and it must not suffer. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hello, everybody. So on the Jones Show. I'm E. It is the evening edition.
Baby.
Come on in. The water's fine, fine, fine. We got four fathers here. The sons of thunders of fathers as well. It is a good time to be black. It is a great time to be the African American, colored, and all these other folks that y'all call us. It's so good to be this skin complexion because uh, Black History Month has been extended to the rest of 2020.
The rest of 2020. Black History Year.
Yeah, Black History Year. It's been extended. It's popular. Yeah, the Jutenium. It is quite popular to be black right now. Not blackish, black. Okay. Today's lesson is out of Proverbs chapter 8, verse 8. And to give you a little history here, Solomon is at it again. He's at it again. What he did was he gave us a contrast of chapter 6, chapter 7. He was talking about this evil woman. The evil woman. All right. He said, I'm looking at the window and I'm watching this man walk by this woman. She married. And she whistles to the man and said, come on, my husband ain't here. He gonna be gone a long time because he grabbed the water cash and he left. He on a long trip. So come in and let's have a great time and spend the night. And I'm gonna make the bed a time that you never will ever forget. Solomon says, watch out for that chick. He said, watch out for her. She's no good. Okay. And he was making a contrast because he was getting ready to introduce chapter 8 on what gifts that wisdom bring to the young man who listens. What I like about chapter 8 is that I want to back it up because what it does is the verses that are not in the lesson talks about when wisdom was created. The Lord formed me from the beginning. Right. Verse 22. Before he created anything. Okay, I was appointed in age past. I was born before the oceans, before the springs, before the mountains, before he had made the earth. I mean, wisdom was always there. When he came to him telling this young man about wisdom, he called her a her. This is a female, this is a woman, old lady, old wisdom. All right. But when it pertains to the young man, he says, consider her your sister. This wisdom is his sister. How do we know? Chapter 7, verse 4 says, love wisdom like a sister. And he says, make insight a beloved member of your family. Elder Jones,
Yes, a boss.
And Joseph Phillips, and your guests who y'all brought in here.
Yes, a boss.
Why do you think he told the young man to treat this wisdom or respect her as the sister and not the wife?
Because Jones.
See, you and your wife are one, and you may take information from one another. But usually your sister, especially if your sister is older than you,
Yes.
you learn from your sister.
Mm-hmm.
You learn under your sister.
Mm-hmm.
In many cases, your sister is who feeds you.
Mm-hmm.
And your sister teaches you the things of life. Your wife don't teach you the things of life. Mine does.
Yes, yeah. Good,
Yeah,
good
I'm
cover.
just saying.
Good cover.
Mine.
watching.
Oh,
Good
she
cover.
good. She
Good
oh,
cover.
woo.
That was close.
Bless you, baby.
Yeah.
But your wife, and so because when two people come together, they compromise.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want to compromise when it comes to wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
You want to hear everything wisdom has to say.
Uh-huh.
So you learn a lot from your sister. Now I'm taking that as if wisdom is my bigger sister.
Yes.
And if wisdom is my younger sister, I'm going to care for her
Mhm.
as a young sister.
That's
so
right.
everything I'm doing is going to be surrounded by and involved in my sister wisdom.
Very profound.
That's good. That's good.
Very profound.
That boy good.
That boy good.
That boy good.
That boy good.
Y'all want to touch on that? Y'all want some of that?
The only thing that gets me about the sister is, okay, so with Christ, we are joint heirs with him. If there is a relationship and it's a sister, that means you're related to that person. You are blood related.
Oh, he good.
You know what I mean? You're interconnected.
Mm.
You get married to someone, you become one. Jesus said they become one. But if we are related, we got the same DNA in us and the same blood running through us. I'm going to be honest with you. You brought that up. I'm going to research that.
He's finally honest.
Because
He's finally honest.
I'm going to
Oh,
research that because I'll be honest, that is something that eluded me.
mhm,
Wisdom being referred to as the sister.
mhm,
That is interesting.
All right.
mm.
Yes. Oh, you want some of that?
I would just say I ditto with everything that they're saying, but your big sister, big sisters are like your second mother.
Yes.
Mhm.
Your mama can't be there, big sister there to help you with homework. Big sister's there to say, listen, I done been through this. Mama done beat my head a few times because I done walked astray. And I just want to warn you, massa don't play. And then with knowing that, it will cause the brother, because he looks up, when you look up to your big sister, everything she do is right. Everything, she's just amazing to you. So to look at wisdom as a big sister opposed to a wife, it means more because you value everything big sister say because she's like second mom.
That's it. She's like second mom. That's good stuff. But they did all right.
Yeah.
Without studying, they did
Yeah,
that.
I'm good.
They wasn't ready for that.
Sure.
I think they got each other's notes.
Yeah, I think y'all
We
texting each
we
other.
texting.
Yeah.
I got a question.
Yes,
she
sir.
like Sarah? Can she
Uh-oh.
be our sister?
Ah.
And
our
our wife at the same
time. Deep now.
You get too deep for me, man.
Oh boy, I'm
He-
leaving.
He tried on the midnight train.
I'm leaving.
Wait, and it inspired laughter.
Yeah.
The fruit
Yeah,
of
the
her
fruit. Come on.
inspired
That's pretty good.
laughter.
That was poetic, Joe.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good stuff.
Yeah, I make this stuff up.
Yeah. Yeah.
As he go,
Yeah.
as he go along.
And I think what's happening here, he says, treat her like your sister because your sister saw you walking by that harlot's house.
Mm-hmm.
And your sister said, come here. Now, mom and dad would not have,
That's right.
you know what I'm saying?
That's
I'm
right.
your big sister and I'm going to beat your tail all the way home.
Sure will.
Mhm.
So he said, treat her like a sister because he says that the sister, treat her like a family. Make insight and beloved member of your family.
Mm.
All right. So this family is going to look after you. Now, wives can leave you.
That sure can.
Yeah. Your wife can divorce you.
Wife can
right.
divorce you. She's out. All right.
right.
But that sister will, no matter how crazy you are, no matter what crime you committed, that sister's going to show up at the prison.
That's right.
The wife going to show up at the prison with the papers.
With the,
Sure will.
with the baby, talking about saying, I'm
Yeah.
gonna need you to feed this
I'm going to need
baby.
you to feed this baby.
Why does that baby look like? No.
Yeah, right. The security guard. Yeah, the personification of wisdom. What's personification? What's that?
Giving it human qualities.
All right.
So giving something that's inanimate human quality.
There it is. So the personification of wisdom as a very desirable woman gives her the opportunity to woo attention in competition.
Mm.
So this woman is wooing attention in competition against who?
World.
Which woman?
This woman in
things
chapter
of the
8.
world.
Against the harlotry woman in the book
Yes.
of
Yes.
Proverbs.
There it is.
Uh-huh.
Right. So if you're looking for a woman, look for the woman in chapter 8, not for
Yeah.
the woman in chapter 7.
Yeah.
But according to your
Yes.
book, there's 2 more women.
Uh-oh. Help me out.
The book you wrote is 2 more women.
Oh, that's right.
Oh yeah, that sure is.
Yeah.
It's 4 of them.
women. That man desire.
That's pretty good, Joe. Joe, he get his hair cut, he get wise, don't he? Oh, that
Somebody got to do it.
The Monday did that.
Decrease your strength.
It's very ha.
Wow,
That's pretty good. Pretty good. Good to see you, Grady. Tennille Jackson, I said your name right. Blessed to you. Who was it? Sherry Hammond. My daughter's watching. Rebecca Jones. She'll be. She taking me out today, y'all. So we gonna do this real quick.
That's right.
Natalie Bullock, blessed to you. Charlie Milam, Elder, blessed to you. Amber Rogers says wisdom is the antithesis to all of our foolishness.
The what was
And folly. Yeah, antithesis. Yeah. All those great words. Yeah. The polar opposite. Okay. Sometimes she likes to use a juxtaposition. Okay. Yeah. She likes to use in her is a personification and representation of our moral excellence. God possessed her as a tool, and her resting place is in the head of man, annexed to the neck of the woman. Her neck is the corridor which the spinal cord uses to enter the skull to access the brain.
Wow, all that coming from her?
Yeah. Jim Georgians.
Who is that?
Jim Georgians. We share the same DNA. Deoxyribonucleic acid. All right, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. She bragging.
I see.
She bragging.
I see. You need to zoom her in on this.
She bragging.
Log her in on this.
She bragging. She bragging. She was on the Oprah show in the 90s, and then she bragging.
Right. Mm-hmm.
She bragging
on Father's Day.
On Father's Day.
We gonna have to step up now.
I couldn't even say half these words. That's slow it down.
We gotta come up a little higher.
Come up a little higher. All right, Victoria Quarter, blessings to you. Okay, chapter 8, verse 8 is in the oven. Natalie says she teaches. Verse 8. All the words of my mouth are in righteousness. There is nothing froward or perverse in them. They are plain to him that understandeth, and right to them that find knowledge. 10. Receive my instructions. Now let's do 8 and 9.
Okay.
8 and 9.
All right. So in order to do 8 and 9, you could even go straight to 7, and that works right in there with you, with it, right? So it says, for my mouth shall speak truth, and wickedness is an abomination to my lips, because all the words of my mouth are in righteousness. When I speak, I'm not a hypocrite. When I speak, I stand on what I speak. When I speak, it is what it is, right? There's nothing difficult to deal with, nothing difficult to understand in my words, right? They are plain to him that understand it. When you study me, when you really know where I'm coming from, when you trust me, they're plain to you, right? Because you are looking for something. You're looking deep. You're not looking. Matter of fact, you're searching for something, right? And right to them that find knowledge. So my words are meaningful. They're not something I'm going to put out there and take back. I'm not going to retract or recant my statement. When I put it out there, that's what it is.
When I put it out there, that's what it is.
That's it.
Froward.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
8. We dealt with froward in our Sunday school because we talked about it being a difficult, contrary person or group, and then of course perverse means to degrade or change or to make the righteousness opposite of what it is. But the things that I love about it when it says my words, it's trying to build confidence and wisdom. And I brought in the fact that in James, the 3rd chapter, James talked about, can a fountain give you sweet and sour water? Can it bring about? Can you get salt water and fresh water? You can't. The wisdom is never going to be off on. It's never going to be sometimes right, sometimes wrong. You can put your money on wisdom, money in that mouth, because it will always be correct. Then the 9th verse, when it says it's plain to him, this mouth, these words are plain to people that can see it. But Jesus said in John 1, well, not Jesus, but the disciple that wrote it said in John 1 that the light could not even be perceived or comprehended by the darkness. People that don't live and walk in wisdom, it is crazy to them. I brought up in the Sunday school that if you're in a dark room long enough, as soon as someone turns their light on, you're going to ask them to turn it back off because your eyes cannot see. They can't focus. Our cells can't do what they need to do to focus us so that we can actually see the image. And what this scripture is telling us, those that walk already in the light, your eyes are already adjusted. You immediately see it. It doesn't look strange or dark to you. It looks focused and real to you.
Yeah, focus, and it looks real to you. Little Jones, give us a forward word.
Forward. What did you say the word forward meant?
A contrary, difficult person.
Contrary, difficult, deceptive. Because here, and I'm gonna look up here because she says that everything that comes out of her mouth. Now, wisdom is not a physical individual, other than the fact wisdom being God Himself.
Sure.
So, but then wisdom speaks. Now, notice what she says: all of the words of my mouth.
Yes.
So wisdom speaks, but wisdom speaks through us,
right,
as well. Now, we keep in mind also that there is a controversy going on here between two women, the woman of wisdom and the woman of the world. The woman of the world talks and does everything pervertedly, and lacking understanding, but she does it. What'd you say that word forward means? Devious is another word.
Okay.
Because notice what she says, everything that comes out of her mouth is righteous. When you look at the word righteous, you look at everything that's right in the eyes of God.
That's it.
So everything wisdom speaks connects with everything that God accepts as right.
Right.
But then she says, and my words are not forward or they're not deceptive.
Right.
Deceptive to what? Deceptive to righteousness or deceptive to truth. In other words, wisdom says you can trust everything that I say, and I'm not like you all. She says there is no hidden agenda in anything that I say. There is no fine print in anything that I say. Everything that I say, you can use it.
You can take it to the bank.
Yes, sir.
Money.
Yep, cash it. Come on, you can. Back in the day when I was in school, they told me that you can write numbers on a piece of toilet
paper,
and take it to the bank.
Yeah,
and it's good
because your name was good.
Because your name is good. That's the way it was. Try that today.
Yeah, crooked.
Yeah, try it today.
I think that's in the New Living Translation.
Yes,
crooked or twisted.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because she used the word right, which means fraud. It means straight.
Right.
So her words is right.
Right.
And not crooked.
Right.
Yeah, there was nothing devious or crooked. My words are plain. 10 says, receive my instruction and not silver and knowledge rather than choice gold. Okay, help me out here. Last week, didn't he tell us to search after silver and gold?
Search after wisdom like silver and gold.
Okay. All right. So is he contradicting himself here? He says, now don't look for silver, but now he's telling, but last week he says, look for it. Okay, help me out here. Is this a contradiction?
No, it's not a contradiction.
It's not forward.
No. It's not forward.
No,
not forward.
Not forward.
No.
No.
Well, y'all need to explain it to me because last week the students were like, okay, I'm digging for wisdom. That's what y'all telling me. Now this week you're telling me I can't dig for this gold because I was supposed to find gold last week.
Did it say?
Help us out.
Oh, the Reverend.
So I believe last week he was saying search for it like it was gold or like it was hidden treasure. When you go look for it, don't just say, I ain't find it. No, search for it. You gotta do an in-depth search for it. You gotta read them words. You gotta pull out that concordance. You gotta pull out that Bible dictionary. You gotta search for it like your life depends on it. Like it's something that you are expected to find. You're not just looking for it. So it's not contradicting itself. But today, what he's saying, she said, receive my instructions, which is similar to what the Father was telling the Son. He said, receive my words and hide my commandments in thy heart. So wisdom is saying, receive my instructions, right? And not silver and knowledge rather than choice gold. When you receive this, compared to what you deem as valuable. We look at the stock market, that goes up and down. But the instructions that wisdom is saying receive, that is what it is. That value, that's something you can pass down from generation to generation. You can give it to your neighbors, you can give it to your friends, you can give it to your pastor, however you want to do it, and it still holds its value. But gold and rubies and silver, that changes, that's wavering. That's our system of value versus wisdom.
System of value. Did you want to touch on that question that I posed him?
I mean, I think that's very. I mean, it's very true. Exactly what he's saying. The one thing that we talked about today was when it says not don't look for the silver or the gold. It's saying because the wisdom is just that valuable, you don't even need it. You don't even need it. And I remember one of the verses that we talked about, and it loses me what chapter, but Solomon said, just don't give me poverty, don't give me riches, just give me what's convenient for me. Give me what's healthy for me. And that's the thing people forget. Health is wealth. The thing that's actually going to make and sustain you, that's the instruction that wisdom gets you. Gold and stuff, it won't even buy you health. And believe me, I work in a hospital. People can spend as much thousands to millions, but if you cannot be healed, you can't be healed. But if you have your health, you can be the poorest man on the street, but you have your health, and basically here, that's it. That's more valuable than the gold that you would try to get.
Elder?
Let me go back to verse 9. Notice with verse 9, she says, they are all plain.
Yeah.
The word they meaning the words of wisdom. But the controversy is right here. If we make it one, the words of wisdom are plain, but it's only plain to those who understand.
Exactly. Yes, sir.
And not to those who just understand, but to those who understandeth. These are the ones who have the ability to understand.
Right.
So the more we exercise wisdom, the more we receive wisdom, the more we understand wisdom.
Yes.
So, and the word plain means right. They're right. So that's why it's hard to talk to an individual who doesn't have wisdom. It's hard to get them to understand. It's impossible. And that's why the more you study the word of God, the more you understand the word of God, the more you know the word of God. The less you do it, the less you understand it. And the person beside you, they'll read and be like, oh man, this is some good stuff. And you sitting there like, I don't get a clue or understanding what's going on.
Yeah.
You ain't reading enough. You're not studying enough. People who study wisdom, old Shakespeare and all that, they understand it.
Right.
Because they're in it more.
Right.
And so we laugh at jokes. Other people like, I don't catch it.
Exactly.
Yes.
Because you're not in that field.
Yeah.
And so wisdom is plain. It's straight to those who understand, and it's right to those who find knowledge. How you find knowledge? You look for it.
That's right.
That's it.
That's right.
If you want knowledge, you got to look for it. And so then she says in verse 10, that's what you read, 10 and 11. She said, wisdom says, receive my instruction. Now, in order for you to receive something, it means you've got to receive it.
That's right.
Grab it,
That's right.
grasp it, seize it, or let it in, because wisdom is constantly there everywhere we go. It ain't that he got wisdom and I don't because what school he went to. Wisdom is everywhere crying in the street.
There you go.
And all we have to do is open up our heart and let wisdom come in. Now, keep in mind, wisdom is God. You cannot have God and not have wisdom. And therefore, I always say there are no dumb saints.
No.
So, says, receive my instruction. Another word for instruction is teaching or doctrine or discipline or even correction, as opposed to silver and choice gold. Then she says, why? Because wisdom is better. I think this word for wisdom is still the word for skill. Because wisdom bears two meanings in this lesson. One meaning for wisdom means the skill of life. The other meaning for wisdom would be insight. And she's not talking about insight right here. She's talking about skill. Skill is better than rubies. And anything that you try to compare with wisdom cannot be compared.
Wow. Cannot be compared. So the question is that your earlier statement about is plain, and those who understand it, who are in it, understand it.
Mm-hmm.
So the gospel is foolishness
To those
that don't understand
who don't understand it.
Yeah, to those
Mhm.
okay.
But to us
Uh-huh.
who are saved,
Yes.
it is the power of God.
I
So
see.
the world don't understand the gospel that we preach,
That's it.
I
but they
see.
understand the stuff that they're in.
I see.
Mhm, mhm,
All right.
mhm.
So this wisdom is this. It is precious.
Yes,
Commodities.
yes, sir.
In order to get it, you have to dig for it to get it.
Dig
That's
it.
right.
That's it.
Okay. So instead of digging for gold and silver, dig for wisdom,
That's right.
and in digging for wisdom, you
You want to
find
find everything else.
That's right.
everything else. And it seems like, and I've noticed atheists and those who are what do you call those who dig in the ground, archaeologists.
Archaeologists. Uh-huh.
They're digging in the ground. Many of them who are part of that industry don't really believe in God.
Mhm.
Many of them don't.
Mhm.
There's some do, but many of them don't, because they've been captivated by the earth
Mhm.
and what they believe the process of the earth is, and so they erase God out of it because
Correct.
it makes too much. It doesn't make sense, yet it makes sense.
Mhm.
And God's supposed to be someone who is logical.
Mhm.
So what they seen, it doesn't make logical sense. And why would an intelligent God do something like that?
Mhm.
Bump God.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? All right. So then they go digging in the ground and they find God.
They find
So
God.
Many,
He's
yep,
everywhere.
He's everywhere.
Mhm.
And many of the unbelievers say that's how I found him.
Yes, sir.
I went digging.
I wouldn't dig him.
I
And I wasn't
digging.
trying. There's a man who
Yeah.
wrote stars of Lee, Les, whatever his name is. He wrote a commentary. He sought out to prove that there was no God.
Yeah.
And he found him.
And he found him.
And he wrote a commentary.
Ain't that something?
Failure.
Yeah. Come on, man.
Failure.
Come on. And I believe God. What did it say? God draws you.
Yeah.
For wisdom is better than rubies, and all the things that may be desired are not to be compared to. All right. So that's 10, 11.
Mhm.
I wish. No, I wisdom. All right. Who talking?
Wisdom is talking. Huh?
I wisdom dwell with prudence. What's prudence?
Practical. Being practical.
Okay. And
Thinking
find
for the
out.
future.
Okay. And find out knowledge of witty inventions. The fear of the Lord is to hate evil, pride and arrogance, and the evil way, and the froward mouth do I hate. So he's bringing up froward again. Okay. All right. So let's tackle these two here. Matter of fact, I want to tackle the ones where wisdom is talking. So that's these three. His counsel is mine, and sound wisdom. I am understanding. I am strength. So 12, 13, and 14.
So I wisdom. I deal with prudence. I'm teaching you discernment. You know, if you accept me, if you receive me, I teach you discernment. When you accept me and find knowledge of witty inventions, and the fear of the Lord is to hate evil. So wisdom is basically saying, when you fear the Lord, when you trust the Lord, when you accepted me and the Lord, we hate the same thing. We hate evil. We hate wickedness. We hate pride. We hate self-esteem and arrogancy, you know, the overbearing use of self-esteem. And we hate the evil way. So to have pride and arrogancy is the product of the evil way or the wicked lifestyle. And the froward mouth, the difficult to understand mouth, do we hate, right? Counsel is mine, and sound wisdom I am understanding. I am strength. Wisdom is said, take me. The things that are opposed to us, we hate those things. And if you accept me, if you receive me, you will do the same.
That's pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, he took off his Easter suit. Now he on his own now.
There's some kind of renewal going on.
Yeah.
God,
He's a believer.
He's a believer. Lord have mercy. Yes, sir.
You know, and we read about it in the former other chapters. Wisdom was there at the beginning.
That's right.
And I truly believe that our schematic of even how we were built and made, it's all connected and interconnected with wisdom, because everything that's in this earth and us is we match together perfectly. The foods we need, the elements and different things are already in the earth. But here it's saying that I dwell with basically practicality. So a lot of things we do, I think the writer said, it's not convenient for us.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's sin, because it's not the way God designed it.
Mm-hmm.
Prudence is that practicality, meaning is set so that it will always work. We will always be sustained. And then it goes on and talks about when you find the knowledge is the witty inventions. Okay, we can take that. We can change that, because I think the New Living Translation, it said discernment, which I like. But I took it another step. There are needs. There are things that we need in order to survive. Wisdom, that skill, that same spirit of wisdom that came upon those men in Deuteronomy to build the tabernacle, what they needed to survive was given to them. And that's what wisdom allows us. And I love 13, because the first thing I did with 13 is I changed the fear of the Lord to the beginning of knowledge. Because that's what they told us in the beginning, that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. So the beginning of knowledge means you're going to hate evil. You're going to hate pride. You're going to hate arrogancy. The beginning of knowledge means I turn my back to everything that's counterfeit, everything that's a lie, because I live in the truth. That's right. That's the difference. So when he says I do hate, that reminds me, of course, they said 6 things does the Lord hate. Yea, the 7th is abominable. There's things that God cannot stand because it's not convenient for us. It doesn't work with his plan. Anything that's incongruent with his plan, if the square don't fit in the circle, the circle won't fit in the square, the triangle's not going to fit in the circle. God has this all locked. Everything we see in this earth that's going awry right now, pollution, our population increases, the lack of food and water, the lack of the various homes and places to live, is because we threw the ecosystem, we threw the world out of whack because we did not follow wisdom. Counsel is mine, sound wisdom, I am understanding, but that last part, I have strength. The word of wisdom is strength. The breadth, the depth of wisdom is strength. Sometimes we don't give strength the credit that it deserves. When it does and says what it says to us, our lives are prolonged. Our thoughts, everything that we listen to God, when we listen to God in obedience, is prolonged, and there's longevity. There's strength. Like and it came to me with Caleb, because of his mindset in God's wisdom. He was able at 80 to be just like a 40-year-old.
Wow. Come on, Caleb.
I'm like an 80-year-old. What verse was that? All right. Now look at the testimony of wisdom. And we say this quite often. You will hardly ever find wisdom, knowledge, and understanding not in the same place. Okay. Wisdom is the principal thing. It's the first thing. It's the basics. Yeah. It is the foundation. Right. He says, therefore, get wisdom. And with, not but and with that getting, while you're getting wisdom, get understanding, which is discernment. So you cannot separate the three from one another. Matter of fact, when you knock on the door of wisdom, prudence answers the door. Come on in. Isn't that what he said? Who is it? Our wisdom dwells with prudence. They live in the same apartment.
Yeah,
with knowledge, with understanding. So while understanding is in there cooking, wisdom is in there studying.
There you go.
Or teaching, understanding how to cook.
There you go.
It's a family affair.
It's a family affair. I got all my brothers and
me.
And me. So wisdom says, I dwell with prudence. And I believe it was you who mentioned the word prudence is craftiness or good judgment. In other words, when you have wisdom, which is skill and insight, you also have good judgment. You cannot separate them. Now we look at, I have my understanding of this witty invention is because I've been trying to find it in the different translations to try to kind of come up. And I don't think personally it has anything to do with the inventions that is coming forth. Right. I believe this witty invention, because how did she say this? I find out knowledge. I find out discernment of witty inventions. Some translations will say of counsels or discretions.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And another word for discretions and counsels would be to make the right choices in life.
Mm-hmm.
So what wisdom does, it seeks out knowledge so that you can make the right decisions and choices in life. I believe is what these witty inventions that they're dealing with. And then she says, counsel is mine and sound wisdom. And I think we talked about that sound wisdom is that other word for common sense. And so now I'm understanding through the book of Proverbs that what we've been calling common sense never was common sense. Because this wisdom comes with wisdom, which is skill and insight. And she brings sound wisdom, which is common sense at the same time. And then she used one more word. She says, I am understanding and I have strength. And of course, in the next verses, because I read a passage of scripture where God used wisdom, knowledge, and understanding when he created this entire world.
Mm-hmm.
All of those was present with God when he did it.
Schematics.
Yeah, everything is laid out. So all we have to do is use what God used.
That's it.
To make what we need to make.
You can't lose
with the tools he
That's it.
used.
With the tools he used. That's good stuff, man. And I'm glad you veered away from King James for a moment.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah,
You have to.
Yeah,
That's the king's language.
That's King's
He's
language.
been there for 500 years.
Yeah, at least. At
Yeah.
least. He had to veer away to do some study, and he came back and said, okay, listen, now, this is not really witty inventions. That means you're not in the basement putting together.
Right.
What you doing, Pops?
Right.
I'm making some things.
I'm making some things.
Leave me alone.
Leave me alone.
I'm making some witty
I'm making
inventions.
some witty
I
inventions.
got wisdom and knowledge with me. Show me how. No, put
Yeah.
that right there, sir.
You know, I
Yes,
don't
sir.
want us to totally throw it out with the baby too, because the thought of this time, this is before air conditioning.
Mhm.
This is before indoor plumbing. This is before some of the conventions that we have now, that we sit right now. We're in light, we're internet, all this. This is all before that. And I know that many of the inventions that have come about, the person didn't even know what they were doing. It was accidental.
Mm.
You know, God had to speak to them in their ear. The Hammond organ, how did that come about? A man had nothing to do with music,
Right.
created the Hammond organ. And to this day, of course, the foolish things that confound the wise, that confounds me all day. But at the end of the day, I don't want to totally veer off, because I noticed in this lesson, it did kind of concentrate also on some of the physical needs, the actual needs that man has.
Mm.
Joe contradicted you.
Yeah.
So y'all can
No,
y'all
not
handle that?
an
Can
agreement.
y'all handle that in the basement?
Well, see, I'm a guitar player and he's an organist.
That's
It's always a contradiction.
It's an agreement.
You know what I'm saying?
Ha!
It's a symphony.
It's symphony.
I have to carry my instrument with me. His is already there, provided by the church.
Yeah.
That's the controversy. Your Honor, I project the allegory and the alligator.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what an antithesis. But he's right about the Hammond organ, because Mr. Hammond,
Right.
he made his money on this table.
Right. Making cards.
He was making card tables.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Wow.
And he decided to mess around, and
He's doing the mess around.
everybody doing the mess. And then that thing came on the scene.
Yeah.
And he was like, look what I have done.
Yeah.
God did that, I believe, in him.
Oh,
Yep.
yes.
And
Of course.
yeah, and it was so good that that it sounded so much like a $100,000 pipe organ
Mhm.
that they had a contest.
Mhm.
Because
Right.
what was happening is the churches, he was trying to get those in the churches.
Yes, sir.
And the white churches was like, at least the cathedrals, like, we don't want that thing. We got this million dollar piece of, and they say, he says, I guarantee you through this competition
Mhm.
that the people can't tell the difference between the two.
Right.
And guess what?
He was right.
He was right.
And now we got him.
Now we got him. We got
Mhm.
them all in the church because of that. But that's a great example there. You just don't know once you're digging for something that God can give you witty inventions.
That's right.
Contextually, though.
Contextually, right. Right. Exactly.
You see what I did?
Yeah. Oh, you did it.
Yeah.
You the wise builder.
Pastoral skill.
Right.
I
I'm gonna
totally
teach you that
agree.
one day.
I even
Yeah,
said
yeah,
discernment
Yeah,
when I was talking. I mentioned discernment, so I
Yeah.
totally agree.
pretty good. How
Yeah.
you don't agree and disagree with you?
Yeah,
Well, that's
You
my
understand?
pastor.
That's
Oh,
the
ah!
It's the this way.
We gotta still be cool.
Right. We got to hang around while y'all gone.
I got to live with this man. All right, that's pretty good. All right, so real quick, like 15 says, by me kings reign, princes decree justice. By me.
Of course, you in that Kojic book again.
Yeah, because y'all skipped that.
Yeah, we jumped down.
So what?
Keep going. It sounds good.
Yeah, we
Okay.
jumped down to
And all
17.
work together anyway.
Yeah, it was good though, y'all.
Yeah, it felt good
It
too.
was good. It was good. But oh, Jesus, y'all don't let me sit by him next week, okay? by me, princes rule, nobles. Even what's a noble?
Somebody's got money, a leader in the kingdom.
Okay, right,
The
right.
lords,
Because look at the people that he's using: kings,
Mhm.
princes,
Mhm.
nobles,
Mhm.
even all of the judges of the earth,
Great men.
all great men. Okay,
People that look up to them.
Mhm.
They use wisdom.
They use
Yes.
wisdom,
Uh-huh.
even and they don't have to know God.
That's
No.
right.
They don't have to know
That's
God.
right.
Right?
Say that.
Yeah, because we're seeing that in America right now.
Oh yeah.
And that it's interesting because in the New Testament, it attaches wisdom to Jesus.
Yes.
In the Old Testament, he uses wisdom in the female gender.
Mhm.
But every blue moon, he'll say, to know wisdom is to know God.
Yes. Yes.
Or he'll say, wisdom comes from God, but then focus back, continue to stay with wisdom.
Mhm.
So every now and then he brings to a reminder, if you really want this true good stuff, you got to connect to the one who gives it.
Yeah. Well, there it is. I love them that love me.
Prejudice.
Yeah. Ain't that something? Wisdom is
Even
prejudice.
the sinners can do that.
Yeah. Wisdom is prejudice.
Prejudice. Prejudice.
Lucia.
Yeah, Lucy.
That's a good topic.
But I tell you,
Mhm.
I mean, that is a good topic
Mhm.
because as it pertains to even forgiveness, God says, I can't forgive you if you don't want to join me in this forgiveness game.
That's it.
I can't.
Yes.
So I love them that love me. And who did he say he hated? Esau.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, Lord Jesus.
So
Okay.
Jacob is wisdom.
Yeah, I guess he is. I guess I love them that love me, and those that seek me early shall find me. Now, Brony wants us to highlight early.
Yeah, she wants us to do
All right,
it.
let's satisfy
uh-huh.
Bronya. Now, which early could she be talking about? Does that mean rising up early and looking for them,
No.
or early in life?
I think early in life.
Okay,
I don't think neither one.
You think neither one?
Mhm.
All right. Before I go turn it over, what do you think?
I think it's the use of the word early, but it's just meaning first.
Okay.
It's just meaning premiere. It means
Mhm.
the start, like Jesus did early in the morning. Yeah, it was in the morning, but guess what? Wherever Jesus wasn't on the other side of the earth, it was late at night. So it's not a timing thing. It's just before I start what I got to do early.
I'm gonna take my glasses off. Yes, sir. What you got? Yes, sir.
When you look at the word seek me early, King James
Mhm.
puts in the word early.
Yes, sir.
Other translations don't.
No, they don't.
Okay. King James, but he still, when you read it, I believe in its original text,
Mhm.
the word seek me early is one word, which means to diligently seek.
Yes, sir.
So what he appears to be saying, what verse was that again?
17.
17.
I love them that love me, and those that diligently seek me shall find me. Because if you reference early as a time of day, suppose we have people who get up late. You see, organ players. That means they have no wisdom.
Right.
If you do it based on life, that means it's for children.
Right.
Suppose you have a person who's now trying to get wisdom at 80 years old. So then that will have to rule out all of them. But when he says that seek me early, and since King James puts early in there, says apparently the original is those who diligently seek me, because wisdom is not prejudiced when it comes to age. You could be old and get it, you could be young and get it, but you just have to diligently seek for her.
And that's good because King James,
That was wisdom right there.
that was wisdom.
Practical. It makes sense.
Yes, it does.
Of course, it makes sense because I'm trying to lead him as far away from King James as possible.
You can't do it.
Can't do it.
I'm a King James and
King James as a if you have a King James Bible, especially if it's a good study Bible, there's a number next to early.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. That number in my Bible is 1, which means that word was added in King James.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And the word diligent is next to it, which means the translators after King James corrected it.
Uh-huh.
They corrected it by not putting the word in there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now the word being in there and not being there doesn't really hurt us.
No, it doesn't hurt us.
Really
but
hurt
you
us,
can
'cause
still
you
seek him
should.
early.
That's my whole point.
Early in the morning
You
or
still
early
should
in
seek him.
life.
Yes.
It's still the key thing is you just need to do it. Now we can still apply it to this because
Yes.
you can get up early, 5 o'clock in the morning, and seek the Lord. He says, "Draw nigh to me, and I'll draw nigh to you."
Yes.
You can seek him early in the morning for the rest of your day.
Yes.
So you can still use it. It's just that we're interpreting. King James is an interpretation of the Bishop and the Dewey Bible and so on and so forth.
Geneva.
So it's Geneva. So it's the language that the king used, and believe me, the people of his time 500 years ago understood it.
Yep, that's right. So, Brona, you all right? She says that is what I'm looking for. Diligent.
Can we get a thumbs up?
Can we get a thumbs up, Brona?
$1.50.
At least $1.50.
Yeah.
It's 4 of us. How are we gonna split that?
But the wisdom tell us how to
wisdom.
do it.
Okay. All right. Give it to me first, and then wisdom will show me.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wisdom says, "Don't do it. You'll never make it."
All right. So I love them that love me, and those that seek me. Riches and honor are with me, yea, durable riches and righteousness. He's talking about my fruit, Lonnie.
Mm-hmm.
It's better than gold. All right, yea, than fine gold, and my revenue than choice silver. Help us with those 3.
So I love them that love me. Those that take the time to seek me, those that take the time to find me. I love them that love me. Everybody loves somebody that love them. If you love me, I'm going to love you back. If you show love towards me, I'm going to go just as hard for you as you go for me. And wisdom is saying, if you love me, baby, I'm going to love you too. You know, I almost want to give Wisdom my number until I found out who she was. So I said, okay, Wisdom, I'll give you my number. Call me up, Wisdom. You let me have a relationship with you, Wisdom, right? So, and those that seek me early shall find me. So for me, what kind of started out with me was a lot of times people will relate wisdom to gray hair and old age. So for me, this spoke out to, even the younger people can get wisdom as well, because there's some young people that are smart that use wisdom even at an early age. So for me, that's what that meant. Riches and honor are with me, yea, durable riches and righteousness. My fruit is better than gold, yea, than fine gold. And so that to me, I went back to the stock market again. The investment, when you yield and get a return from me, when you invest in wisdom, you will get a return out of this world with gold, with silver, with all the riches of the world. That's the tangible things of this world will go away one day. Will all be gone, but wisdom is going to always be here. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but not one jot and not one tittle of the Lord's word will in no wise pass away. It's durable. It will sustain, right? I don't know if we got to that verse or not. Okay, so I'm thinking that this has something still to do with Solomon when he asked the Lord. God asked him, what did he want? And he said, well, I need wisdom to lead your people. So he basically said, okay, because you didn't ask for power, you didn't ask for riches and all that, that stuff's going to be added unto you because of where your heart was. You wanted to learn of me. And because of that, I'm going to give you something a little extra to help you along the way.
Gloria said, come on, Elder Lonnie. You got to love me in spite of, not because I don't have any wisdom. Ooh, all right. Oh, she also said, rightly divide that $1.50. Pretty good, Gloria. Is that right? What you got, sir?
Just real quick, if you love me, I love you. It definitely reminds me when Jesus said, if you love me, keep my commandments. And there are guarantees. When Jesus also said, in the Bible, it said those that believed on him and those that received him, he gave them power to be the sons of God. So basically, there's a reward. There's a covering. And then 18, I like what he said. It's definite automatic that if you have wisdom comes with other things. It comes with blessings. But I think about what Jesus told the churches. One of the churches, he says that that when he comes, he'll come with his reward. There's a reward. There's a reward, and wisdom has a reward. When you are diligent, and I'm glad that was touched upon. When you're diligent with wisdom, and you make that the first and the cornerstone of what you do, there's going to be rewards beyond just spiritual. We talked about that, and it's later even talked about in our lesson. And then did we go to 19?
Yes.
The fruit got me, because when I thought about the fruit, I thought about what statements that were said. I think Elder Rodney and I think Sir Walter mentioned about fruit, wisdom being able to birth or multiply and to give, and that's also what happens. But then there's in the Proverbs, the scripture says it's like a tree, basically that gives life.
Yes.
And it says that if you take hold of it, you will be happy. Happiness is one of the fruits. Your life is like the song says, what a sweet relief in knowing that God will make a way somehow. You literally can relax and step back onto wisdom, because wisdom is always going to teach you and show you the right direction to go. So it's better than the gold, and it's better than the silver and such, because it's going to bring you revenue that gold cannot bring you.
It's good stuff. What you got?
Well, I was told not to use the word prejudice with wisdom. Our friend told me not to use.
Oh, was it? Yes. He in the room?
Yeah, she's in the room on yeah. So wisdom is not prejudice. Wisdom uses discretion.
Yes, sir. That's pretty good.
But when you come on my show,
yeah.
But I'm gonna leave that now. Interesting. Look at what so far we find out that wisdom has an apartment building, and knowledge and all of them prudence dwells with her. Then wisdom says, don't seek after rubies, gold, silver. Now you find the word gold in here twice.
Yes.
Fine gold and choice gold.
Yes.
Those are two different types of gold. But she says, don't seek after that, seek after me. Then she tells us why you should seek after wisdom rather than all of that. Then she says, riches and honor are with me. So when you find and seek after wisdom, you get all that other stuff.
That's it.
That's right.
Because all that other stuff is the wealth of the world.
That's it.
Wisdom is the wealth of God.
Yes.
I felt that in my shando.
Yes,
You
sir.
need
I
to
see
write
it in
that.
your
Wisdom
shando.
is the wealth of God. Come on, somebody. Wisdom
Yes, sir.
is the wealth of God. So she says, when you get me, riches and honor are with me, yea, durable. That word durable is enduring.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Lasting, because wisdom don't fade. Wisdom don't turn green.
That's right.
Look at all these rings on them. All their rings got green on them.
That's right.
All their fingers got green. Wisdom don't fade. Wisdom don't rot. Wisdom don't age or nothing like that. Wisdom says she is durable riches.
Yes,
Her
sir.
riches are like the everlasting ever-ready battery, which dies as well.
That's right. Old money.
It stays there, and her righteous. And then she uses fruit. Now, fruit is the produce of something.
There you go.
It is the natural fruit, is the natural produce. And the Bible talks about the fruit, not with an S, the fruits, but the fruit of the Spirit is, and it names a whole lot of things.
Yes.
And then lastly, what I love, so the key words here would be durable, fruit, and revenue. I love about the word revenue because the word revenue is the harvest. She says, and my revenue or my harvest or the things that I'm going to produce, or the word revenue means the crop in the field, the crop that I produce is even better than not just regular silver, but here it is choice silver. So you got choice gold, you got fine gold, you got rubies, you got silver, and now you have choice silver. Then we read verse 20.
No, we didn't read that yet.
All right, that's your job.
Might as well.
Handle it, Roy. Handle it.
Pretty good. Choice is gold. All right, children. The color now is gold.
I love it.
Hit it. Come on, y'all.
I
know
would be
about that.
seen wearing green.
You're dead if you wear red.
Yeah.
Y'all watch too much TV.
Y'all watch
I'm
too much.
just saying.
Too much.
I was in Sunday school.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't bring me no bad news.
Yeah.
Come on,
I
somebody.
lead in the way of righteousness.
Yes,
In the midst
yes,
of the paths
yes.
of judgment, that I may cause those that love me to inherit substance, and I will fill their treasures. Okay, those two tells us that wisdom takes me to a righteous place. Pretty much.
That's a harmonious.
Yes. So ride the wave of wisdom.
Yes.
You will end up in righteous town.
Yes,
Okay?
sir.
Yes, in the midst of paths of judgment. So, and if you're riding wisdom, following it, what's following behind you? Grace and mercy. Come on, right. That I may cause those that cause those that love me to inherit substance. So, brothers, fruit is better than gold.
Yes.
And revenue or wages is better than choice silver.
Right.
Now, help me out here as we shut this down.
Yes, so shut it down, sir.
Shut it down. Why the comparison, and does it make sense? Does it make sense as far as weight? You know, back then they weighed things to determine the value of it. Even back in our grandfather's days, they would take something and they would bite into it to see its worth. All right, there was a certain color that it had, right? Because the dimes or the nickels or the quarters we have is not really worth
much. They changed it.
They changed the mixture of it.
Yeah.
So it's not really a nickel.
Right.
It's not nickel. It's actually diluted with other.
It's a
cheap.
nickel.
Yeah, it's not even a nickel.
Yeah, it's just a
right?
nickel.
It used to be a nickel when your grandfather was alive.
Right.
It was worth, but now it's been diluted so much. So this fruit, the comparison, because I'm waiting on y'all to hit me with that. Why the comparison, and how could possibly the fruit of wisdom be worth more than gold?
I mean, you got olive trees that are still alive that would possibly here since the year 1000, right? Yeah. And there's groves of these because the fruit, what does it do? It actually will make a field. The fruit has the seed in it. And what I love about wisdom is that seed that you give to others when we preach the gospel, it goes and it goes. And we're still preaching the same message that somebody put in a letter thousands of years ago, because it just continues to graduate and bless others, and it creates a field. And then the other thing about revenue, gold and silver, their price is dictated by man. It changes all day, every day. If I got the money,
yes, sir.
If I got the revenue isn't always technically money. Sometimes it's your inventory, what you're worth.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? I'm worth $1 billion, you know, so I can go to the bank and get a loan. I can do anything because my name alone will sign is priceless. You know what I'm saying? And that's the key. Basically it's showing you the dictates of the world based on God's wealth that cannot be quantified.
So for me, we talked about in our Sunday school class, we kind of basically said if you had gold and you were to use that gold for a whole lot of people, you'd be limited on what you can do with them. If you had that gold and you sold it or you shared it, and once it's gone, then you're done with it. But the fruit of wisdom, I can use that and I can pass it along to my brothers, my sisters, my children, and the value of it is going to still be the same. It's a consistency in the value of wisdom, whereas gold, even fine gold, the payment is going to change. As Elder Phillips said, it goes off of man's dictating the price and the value of it, whereas wisdom, the value is consistent throughout the ages. The same thing as he said that was back in the day is still now, and it's still, and it talked about the substance.
Yes.
We've inherited a substance, that good eating, not that McDonald's stuff, but we've had some good meat, eating some good steak and lobster and something that we can take with us, and it's tangible, and we can just pass that along to the generation to generation, and not just in our families. We can pass along to those in the church and those. So you can do a lot more with wisdom than a little bit of gold.
Take that, son?
Yes, sir. Years ago, I said, Lord, I need some money. I was working at an apartment or whatever. And,
Wisdom's apartment?
yeah. And here's and it's a brief testimony. I was hungry. I needed money bad. Now, it had to be wisdom because I ain't got enough common sense.
True.
I opened up the vent, the register, the duct, stuck my hand in there, and felt a roll. I pulled out, it was 22 silver dollar bills in the package.
Wow.
My brother came by. I said, man, well, look what I just found. He said, oh, man, I'm saying to myself, I got $22 that I can spend. My brother said, let me handle that, and I'll call you. He took it to the pawn shop. Pawn shop offered him $10 per coin.
Yeah.
So my brother said, he said, you know what? If they offer you that, they only offering you less than what.
That's right.
He says, I'm going tomorrow to the silver exchange place. He goes there the next day, puts on a suit, and calls me and says, when I text you, he says, call me and say these words. He texts me, I call. Yeah, this is the man who's trying to exchange my ship. He said, yeah, but that's all right. I already got a buyer. When he hung the phone up, shortly thereafter, he came to my job with $540 some.
Wow.
Because the silver exchange person offered him something like $25 per coin. So I went with the same coin from $1 to $10 to $25. Depending on where you place this silver, that's the value of it.
Come on, sir.
But wisdom is at the highest value
That's it.
anywhere
That's it.
you take it.
That's right.
And so therefore, at the beginning, she says, anything you desire can't even be compared
That's right.
to wisdom.
That's it.
It's valuable in heaven. It's valuable in hell because you need wisdom on how to get out of hell.
That's right.
You need wisdom on how to get in heaven.
That's right.
And you need wisdom, knowledge, skill, insight, prudence, witty invention on how to live with 45 in office. I'm just trying to tell you what I'm trying to tell you.
There you go.
This wisdom is so valuable. If we use this right here, we can get to God safe.
Yes,
That's it.
Then she says, what verse was that? I lead.
There you go.
I lead. Wisdom
right.
is at the head of the parade.
That's it.
She is the person who does that. I'm gonna need you to move that camera over because they can't see my right hand. Wisdom is the one who's leading the parade. The parade don't move until wisdom says,
Yes, sir.
and then when you follow wisdom, wisdom leads you in the direction of righteousness, right?
Yes.
Then she leads in the midst of the paths of judgment. And then she says, why? So that I can cause those that love me, back to that love, to inherit the substance. Because when you get everything through wisdom, you got everything that you need. Then she closes out with, and I will feel their treasures. Because the greatest wealth comes from God and
That's
not
it.
from the substance. in
That's
the
it.
That's right.
From God.
Let me test y'all, because that right there, that right there made me close the book. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Elder Jones, let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir. Oh.
Twin again. Came back.
20.
Came back.
You want this 20, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Which one do you want right now?
That.
Okay. Why do you want this right now?
Because that'll buy 20 of these.
All right. Now, let's change the scenery.
Yes, sir.
We on Gilligan's Island.
Is Ginger there?
No, she not that.
I ain't on.
They all drowned.
You on that island by yourself?
They all drowned. We on a deserted island, L. Jones.
Yes, sir.
You're gonna be there for a while. Which one do you want?
You can make a fire at 20. That'd be good kindling.
This is a natural substance of the earth. Problem is, this is only gonna last
so long,
but for so long.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna need wisdom.
Yeah.
On how to drink
how to
this.
rationalize it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's gonna take me a while. This is gonna take a long.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to build up my sermon list. So now on this island,
yeah,
this won't do me no good.
Mm-hmm.
You might as well burn it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Craig, give me a match.
I'll burn it for you.
I like that burn for you.
You might as well burn it. What good is it doing?
Right.
Because the rich man on Gilligan's Island
Mhm.
had all
that
riches,
money, and it didn't do him.
and it couldn't do them no good.
No
and
good.
they were burnt. It was only a 3-hour tour. You took all that money, and they were burnt. And they still on the island. Every episode he was still promising them all his riches,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
but they couldn't do nothing with that money.
Love it.
Love it. Nothing. So on the island, then this became the most richest commodity to them. They couldn't go on the ocean and drink that water. You can't lap that water up. All that salt will kill you.
Right.
All right. This is precious than gold.
Right.
So in the analogy here, let's look at this. In the analogy, always get that 20 back.
I should have made it
In
$1.
the analogy, God is saying which one is wisdom.
Yeah. Can I add something to the speaker?
Yes, sir.
Now, when you look at this, first of all, is this my water?
I don't know, but it's cold, man. I'm about to
Oh
take
yeah,
care
it's
of
mine.
that.
Anything I have is cold.
Yeah.
So when you look at something, it was this
Mhm.
that got them to the island.
Yeah.
Because you can't float in a boat
There was 20.
with this.
That's it.
Am I right?
That's right.
So you can't float on a boat with that. It's this, that natural substance that got them to where they need to go.
Yes,
Number
sir.
one.
Yeah.
Is this that's going to cause them to survive while they're on the island.
Yes.
And when they get the boat fixed, it's going to be this
Yes.
that's going to cause them to get back home.
Come on, sir.
That
Come on.
natural substance.
That natural substance. And
So if
Yeah.
I could, can I see the 20? I see the water. Now the thing about it that gets me with this, and I'm going back to the fruit again. So if you can keep it, I just need the water. For this. You know they say if you teach if you give a man fish, he'll eat for a day.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you teach a man how to fish,
Mm-hmm.
he'll eat for a lifetime.
Right.
Wisdom is
She's married.
that teach that'll give you this water all the time, meaning it'll show you like Israel, who has no access to fresh water, how to go get the seawater and make that into pure fresh water. So it don't matter that the Jordan ain't giving us good water or our water's polluted. It don't matter. Wisdom actually doesn't just let you drink a day. Wisdom says you need some water bad. Let me show you how to make it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the key. Let me show you how to make that 20
Right.
with a skill.
Yeah.
He never let it go, by the way.
Why is everybody passing my water around?
he never let it go. He never let it go.
Social distance.
And that's what Gloria said. She says wisdom gives you knowledge of how to desalt that water.
Yes.
Yeah.
Understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But look at what Michelle Carter said.
What she said.
That $20 bill would buy 5 cases of water in her market.
Yeah, in my market. Yeah, that's good stuff. Yeah. So that's the difference between what we see here in the text.
Mhm.
He says that my fruit is worth more than that gold,
Yeah.
that
Mhm.
silver, because all I got to do is go outside and get the picking.
Mhm.
The
Yes.
fruit is grown on the tree,
Yes.
and it is God's reasonable service to me.
Mhm.
He said, "You asked me for all these things." He says, "But seek ye first the kingdom."
Mhm.
Okay,
He's righteous.
and I'll add these things
Yes.
that I put on the earth
Yes.
for you.
Mhm.
All right. So here's the fruit. All right. Now, in a Roman soldier was paid by salt.
Mhm.
Salt. He was
That's
paid by
right.
salt.
That's
and
right.
that's what the word salium comes from, and salary comes
Mhm.
from salt.
That's right.
All right. So salt was worth more than what these other commodities, because that's was their what? wages.
And they weighed it by the grain of salt.
Come on, sir.
Mhm.
Yes, because you didn't just pay a man with salt. He used the salt
That's right.
to process, to use it to preserve
That's it.
the meat. He
Mhm.
used it for of course,
For healing.
For healing.
Mhm.
He also used it as a covenant between you and I,
That's it.
as a salt covenant. Okay,
That's right.
So salt was used as a multi-purpose commodity,
And that's why Jesus said, "You are the sugar, the sugar
sugar
of the earth."
Come on, sir.
Yeah, and that's interesting. Now I'm going to say this: salt is a preservative.
Yes, sir.
Notice what's unique about salt. Salt never takes the nature of anything else.
Right.
Everything takes the nature of salt.
Mhm. Yeah.
So that's why he told us that we are the salt of the earth,
Come on, man.
because anything that comes up against us is supposed to take our nature.
Yes, sir.
And we're not supposed to take its nature. That means a situation that we're in. That means a pandemic is not supposed to change the nature of the saints.
Yes.
We're just changing the nature of the pandemic.
That's it.
Right.
When the government shuts down the church, it just shut down the thing that preserves.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
I'm gonna leave that one
Uh-oh.
right there.
I can't do this no more with y'all. They pass that to the cameraman. He's
Put it on camera though.
Put that to the cameraman. Woo, the cameraman. And put my cash up there, back up there. Can somebody send me 20? Put my cash app up there so they can replenish. Because your 20 is worth more than this water right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna drink my water.
That's not really in keeping with the lesson. They give you 20, that's only gonna last for a minute.
Yeah.
Okay,
But if
Not
they
in my
give you
not in my garden.
look at Joe. No,
Not my
look at
garden.
Esau and what's his name?
Uh-huh.
His brother.
Yes.
He was hungry,
Yes.
Yeah.
Esau,
but what did he sell him for? The food,
his birthright.
I'm trying to tell
which
you.
was more important.
Yeah,
Birthright.
at that time.
Why?
Because that was the blessing.
Because the birthright
And it's
opened up
ability.
all the doors.
Exactly.
The food was a substance that was it was a temporary fix.
Yeah.
It was temporary fix, but that food was worth more to him at that time than his own birthright.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because he was,
And you know,
because he
and
felt he
what-
was going to die.
and Reverend,
Yes, sir.
Reverend, what's more important right now in this pandemic to people that are dying?
Toilet tissue.
And don't forget soap.
Toilet tissue.
Whatever is essential to the life or the very existence of a person right now, the believer is supposed to have that answer.
That's true.
Right now.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm gonna leave that one
Yeah.
right there.
For your show.
You see,
Oh my!
you
So your
spell
shit
my
top.
name, Shambach.
Tyler, Texas.
Tyler, Texas. All you need is faith. I wonder what would he be doing in this day and time.
Man, I don't know. I have no idea. Thank y'all for giving. Amber Rogers says your wish is my command. All right, she sent me the 20.
Oh, bless her.
Amber sent me
You
the
know,
20.
Amber, I need $35.
She'll do it. Shh, quiet. That girl will do it.
Oh, well, I
She'll
meant
do
45.
it. You meant 45. She'll do it. Trust me. Cecilia Johnson, bless it to you. I see what you did. Niketa Bennett. Love that name. I see what you did here. BW. Bernice Williams, blessings to you. Ooh, she blessed me. She blessed me big time. The Denise James always coming through for a brother. Sister Celestia, come through. Just came through. And Valerie Harris, I love you and thank you for coming through for us. Lisa Johnson from King of Glory came through for us in a big, mighty way. And Deborah, who came through for us as well. So, man, the Lord has been blessing us through many of you who just decided that you just wanted to give. So, thank you. I don't know what we would do without Mother Moody today. Came through in a more perfect
bless
way.
her heart.
She gave me a Holy Ghost handshake.
Bless her heart.
Yeah, and so when Mother Moody come through, I might as well sit back and just say, well, God, thank you. The fruit of the labor has done its work. All right, so thank y'all for doing that. Again, it helps us to keep equipment up to par and these bright lights that be busting in my house.
I'm sorry. She says she wants our cash. I'm gonna give it to her.
Well, there's mine, the Bronya, so you got it. So y'all inbox the Bronya. She wants your cash app because y'all want her to be blessed, right? Y'all want Bronya to be
Yes,
blessed.
sir.
All right, send her your cash.
I want to burn the joint.
Yeah. Yeah, Y'all go ahead and send it to her so she can be blessed because she wants to give. Amen.
I'm
And
gonna send
the
it to her
Brony is a
inbox
woman
right now.
She's a woman of her word.
Yes, she is.
When she says she's gonna do it, she does it.
Yes, she does.
They really can't shut the true church down because God's wisdom gave us Zoom, Duo, YouTube, Facebook, IG, and Marco Polo. Woo! Michelle, you on Marco Polo? All right, well, hook me up. I'm on there too. Rodney's on. The brothers on there. We only call it ministry.
Hey, baby, my wife is saying hello.
Yeah, Marco Polo. Say hello to them Carter boys for me.
Bless you.
All right, y'all. I think that's it. Proverbs chapter 9 is next week. And I want to thank y'all, brothers, for taking out your time from your cheering to sit out here at the table with little old me. Man, I'm just honored and flabbergasted and all the words I can't come up with. So I turn it over to the scientist.
What kind of flabbergasted?
I'm talking scientist. He can give me more words. So thank y'all.
Jetson.
Yeah. Yeah, your wives are out there waiting for you, all right? Party gifts.
Yes.
I love y'all. Hit the share button. If you're on YouTube, hit the take your thumb and use wisdom and knowledge and what's the other one? Understanding. And press that button real hard till it turns blue and watch the fruit of God overflow in your house. If you're on Facebook, go ahead and share it. We please. I bless you. See you next week. At whenever these guys sit down at the table. It's supposed to be 2:00, but I don't know what these guys be doing.
I stream all day, so I'm here all day.
He's a streamer all day long. All right, God is watching. Hey, God is watching. God is watching. Yeah, God is watching. God is watching.
He's watching.
God is always watching.
He's got his eyes on you. He's got his eyes on you.
Bye bye. No Lauren Harley today. Just bye bye.